lexicon represented a way of slipping the superficial self, the self who played bowls or minded when a hat was criticized, and ducking down into a deeper, nameless realm. When Virginia writes about writing, which is often, the images she employs are liquid. She is flooded or floated. She breaks the current. When the books are going well, she plunges off, happy as a swimmer, into the marine element of private thought. When the work is going poorly, however, when headaches prevail or sleeplessness sets in, her descriptions begin to acquire a nightmarish dryness. Hi everyone, welcome back to another installation of Bloomsbury Diaries. This is a series where I discuss books that relate to the Bloomsbury group, thus far mostly to Virginia Woolf specifically. And I am going to be talking about the book that I read for Springathon, which is To the River by Olivia Laing. This subtitle of this book is A Journey Beneath the Surface, and it is a wonderful piece of nature writing that talks about the Ouse River in Sussex. This is the river in which Virginia Woolf drowned in 1941. And this is a fantastic, I would say there's an element of memoir to this, because to me, a really good way of conveying nature writing is when you are writing about a relationship between humans and a place. I think it's possible to go in and try to observe nature as an outsider, but the connection that Olivia Laing had to the river and the places along the river and her own memories and her own place in life at the time that she decided to write this book really give the book a sense of connection and draws you into the story of the river. So Olivia Laing is going through a rough patch in her life. She is in one of those moments of questioning everything, and she decides to walk the Ouse from its source at a spring all the way down to where it meets the ocean. And this timeline is about just over a week, I think, so it's not a terribly long journey, but along the way you are introduced to the little villages along the river. You are introduced to the historic events that have happened along the river. And throughout the whole story, Virginia Woolf and her relationship to this part of England, but also her own relationship to writing, Leonard Woolf, her husband, and also her internal struggles are relayed along the way. And so I thought that Olivia Laing wove all of those elements together in a really entertaining way. There's a lot of other people that are mentioned in the book who, were looking for fossils or different monarchs at different time periods. There's also agricultural discussions about the effects of different things on the river itself, so the runoff from different pesticides or DDT. There is bridge construction. There is relaying to wild swimming and the temperature. You really feel this heat of summer. I believe she does this over the week of midsummer, so you feel that heat. You feel her connection to a lot of the plants, so she names a lot of the plants that she's seeing along the way. And you also get this kind of quiet and very intimate portrait of Virginia and kind of what happened post her drowning, with her funeral and the people around where she lived and how they took care of Leonard. A little bit more about Leonard post Virginia's death. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very well written, very compelling, and I probably would read this again in the future because it has a lot in there that I don't know if I picked up all the things on the first read. So I think it would be perfect for a reread when you're interested in immersing yourself in someone else's way of looking at the world, and also in kind of learning about an intimate connection to a place. I think that's the other thing I really liked about this, is that unlike some nature memoir style books where the author is going there for the first time and observing everything for the first time, Olivia Laing was going to places that she had been before and relaying those memories to us as well. So I thought that her history with the river was just as interesting as someone who, more interesting actually, than someone who would be encountering it for the first time, because she was trying to look into those memories and kind of mine her own experiences with the river to convey to the reader. So again, very, very well done. The beginning of each section has a different photograph. So this wonderful photograph of Virginia. There is also a map, which is always very important in books that are talking about a place. So you get an idea of where she is walking, and a photograph that she took of the river itself. The other interesting thing that she conveys about the river is how rivers change. They're a trickle somewhere, then they're wide, then they're dredged for the movement of different types of commercial ships and vehicles. And I really liked that aspect of it too, just thinking of rivers as these different parts of a place that move through towns and villages. It's very different from an ocean, when you're thinking about the movement of a river. It just has a really different way of circulating and being part of the land, and of leading people, and of connecting people. And that relationship, I think, is very compelling and interesting. So, like I said, I think this book I got from the library. I am planning to purchase a copy to keep for myself so that I can reread it in the future. And I would definitely recommend you picking it up. I think if you like nature writing, if you like historical details woven in with your nature writing, then I think this is definitely one that you should check out. This is also from the section of The Lady Vanishes. It was a strange landscape at the best of times, the brooks, the land so flat and intermarried with water. I'd read in a history of Lewes that when the river ran high and threatened to breach the banks, farmers would stake nets, catty corners between the hedges to catch the fish as they washed across the grass, and furthermore that it is from this practice that the phrase "a pretty kettle of fish" takes its origins, for the nets were known as kettles. I don't know if this is true, though. Such origin tales always strike me as dubious, like the claim that the Ouse comes as a contraction of the waters of Luce, which over time got rubbed down by use to the Woos, and hence to the Ouse. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up or a comment. And if you would like to watch more of my Bloomsbury diary videos, there is a playlist on my channel, and I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to watch more of them. I try to read several books a year around the Bloomsbury group. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video.